All right, let's dive into something pretty cool today, floriculture. I know it might sound a bit academic, but it's really just the amazing art and science behind all the flowers that, decorate our world. And believe it or not, it even impacts the technology we use every single day.
So what does a wedding bouquet have in common with noise-canceling tech? I mean, sounds like a riddle, right? But the answer is actually fascinating, and it shows just how deep the science of flowers really goes. We're about to uncover some connections you probably never thought of, so stick around, this is going to be good.
Okay, so what is floriculture really? Well, it's way more than just, pretty flowers. Think of it as the whole shebang, the science behind how they grow, the art of taking care of them, and even the massive global business that gets them from a field to your local florist. It's an entire world built around these amazing ornamental plants.
And right in the middle of all this, you've got the florist. They're kind of like part artist, part scientist, aren't they? I mean, these are the folks who really get that delicate balance between biology and pure beauty. It doesn't matter if they're growing a super rare orchid or just putting together the perfect bouquet. It's a real skill.
Now, I get it. It's super easy to just think of flowers as, well, decoration. But their impact goes so much deeper. We're about to look at how these plants are totally essential for our environment, our economy, and honestly, even our own well-being.
And get this, the material we're looking at today points out 16 different ways these plants are part of our lives. That is a huge number. So let's break down a few of the most surprising ones. Okay, so let's start with the obvious one, beauty and design. I mean, they're everywhere, right? Inside our homes, outside in our gardens, lining city streets. They're there for the big moments too, like weddings and funerals. You could almost say they're like the living, breathing architecture of our world. This quote really hits the nail on the head. People often use or give beautiful flowers to their partners, friends, or relations as a symbol of love and affection. It's so true. Flowers are basically their own language. They can say I love you, I'm sorry, congratulations, all without a single word. It's a huge part of how we connect with each other.
But it's not all just about emotion. There's a serious economic engine here. Floriculture provides income for florists. It creates jobs for gardeners. For some entire countries, it's a massive source of export income. And that's not even counting the industrial uses, like perfumes or local herbs. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry, all from plants. And, okay, remember that question from the beginning? Here's your answer. Some ornamental plants are literally used in cities to absorb noise. It's like a natural form of noise-canceling technology. How cool is that? Plus, they give us shade, they help clean the air by sucking up CO2, and they're super important for scientific research. They're kind of the unsung heroes of our communities.
All right, so we know why they matter. But what kind of plants are we actually talking about here? Let's meet some of the stars of the show, the trees, shrubs, and flowers that make this whole world so vibrant.
Just look at this variety. You've got these majestic ornamental trees like the royal palm or the flame of the forest. Then you have shrubs that you've probably seen a million times, like hibiscus or bougainvillea. And, of course, the flowers. We're talking about everything from a big, bold sunflower to a delicate morning glory. It's an incredible range, and each one is different.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now it's time to get into the how. I mean, it's one thing to look at a gorgeous flower, but how do you actually get there? How does a simple seed become, well, that?
Well, it's a really careful process. First things first, you have to pick the right spot. Then you got to get your planting materials ready. Seeds, cuttings, whatever you're using. You choose your method, make sure you've got good, fertile soil, and then the real work starts, providing shade and, of course, the endless cycle of watering and weeding.
And when it comes to cultivation, there are a couple of main ways to go. You can use what are called prepared beds. Think of them like a little nursery for young seedlings before they're ready to be transplanted. Or you can just plant directly into pots. That gives you a ton of control over the soil and the environment for each plant. It really just depends on what you're growing.
So where do you even get all this stuff? The seeds and the cuttings? Well, the sources are all over the place. You can get them from official spots like university botanical gardens or government centers, but you can also find them in private homes, at resorts. You can even import them. It's this huge global network for sharing plant life.
But getting the plant in the soil is just the beginning. The job is definitely not done. In fact, this is where the real nurturing starts. A successful garden is all about constant, dedicated care. And that care has a rhythm to it. Regular watering, usually in the morning and evening.
pulling up all those pesky weeds, adding fertilizer or manure to keep the soil healthy, putting up a fence to keep animals out, and of course, regular pruning to snip off old leaves and stems. It's a real labor of love, but there's a lot of science to it too.
So the next time you walk down a street that's lined with beautiful trees, or someone hands you a bouquet, maybe you'll see it a little differently. I hope so. Because what you're really seeing isn't just a pretty plant. You're